Hello and welcome to M.A.D. I'm Rob. Alright, if I told you that there was a store that had an unlimited variety of the world's best art materials and you could help yourself to as much as you pleased, then I'm sure you would want to make it there on the double and pick up as much art material as you could. But I'm not talking about just one store or shop. I'm referring to nature, where we find available an unlimited variety of colors, materials, and even inspiration. And using all of this today, we are going to create some amazing art. So first of all, we are going to capture some falling snow in a snow dome. Then we shall capture the wind in a picture. Rocks will come alive. And finally, one giant moving big picture, because this is M.A.D's special series. Make it easy. Nature really fascinates me because it contains so many magical moments. I love to sit for hours gazing at the sunset, or the stars at night, or the rain during the monsoons, the dried leaves during autumn, or the snowfall in winter. But to be able to capture all of this is not very easy at all. But yes, we certainly have tried when we made a snow dome. Today I am going to show you how we can make a snow dome. First of all, we take an airtight jar. We pour in a mixture of glycerine and water in a 1:4 ratio, that is 1 cup glycerine and 4 cups water. Then we paint these ice cream sticks to look like buildings. I have already done that here. Use acrylic colors or permanent markers so that the color does not dissolve in the water. Now we take our bottle cap and place some modeling clay in the middle of it. After you have placed the modeling clay, you make your building stand in it. Next, we drop some sparkle into the mixture and close the bottle nice and tight. Absolutely airtight. Now shake it a little.
Wow, really great.
It's looking beautiful.
Isn't it? Even you can make your very own snow dome with bottles of different shapes and sizes lying around at home, just like I have done here. What you just saw was how we can make a snow dome and how we can relive its magical effect. And what I'm going to show you now is how we can personalize it. We've got our airtight jar here. And just like we had placed a bunch of buildings in it before, in the same way, you can place some interesting messages in the cap of the jar. I have cut out a little personal message here out of styrofoam, since styrofoam does not get affected by water. And these can be easily cut out of party plates. And once you have cut out your personal message, like I have cut out best wishes, you attach it to toothpicks like this. And then fit them onto the cap. Take a look, I have placed some modeling clay in the cap of this jar and stuck in my best wishes message into it with toothpicks, and we then close the bottle. Now behind it, here at the back, we can stick on some other stuff as well. I have printed a photograph on some sticker paper here, so we stick it on. If you don't have any sticker paper, then you can stick on the photographs directly using white glue or sticky tape. But sticker paper is quite easily available in the market. Okay, focusing carefully on your position, you stick it on firmly. Okay, so there we have got our photograph. Now we can stick some other stickers around it. If you like, you can even paint around it. And if you wish to do that, then you can paint stuff on with markers. Or you could use poster colors if you like, or acrylic colors. You could even use glass paints. Glass paints give a nice effect as well. So the jar is now ready. We open it once again and pour in some glycerine and water. Now we will mix it nicely. Okay, so now that's done. We put some glitter in next. And carefully place the cap on again. So by now, everybody must have seen that by sticking on a photograph or a sticker, by painting or placing in a message, you can personalize your snow dome and gift it to your friends. Now I'm wondering what you guys gonna make and gift to me. So while you're thinking how to make your next snow dome, we'll take a short break. But be right here, because after the break, we'll be making a windy scene, some rocking art, and a really big picture. We've seen a whole lot of painting techniques on M.A.D that allow us to add depth or perspective to a 2D painting. And one of my favorite is the windy painting, in which you can show the effect of a rushing wind with some simple strokes. Today I'm going to show you a new variation on this very same technique. But before that, let's watch this. Alright, let's make a painting of a very strong rushing wind. First of all, let's take a sheet of cartridge paper like this and start drawing right away. Okay, can anyone guess what is it I am drawing?
Man.
Boy.
A boy doing what?
Cycling.
Cycling. Now if he's got long hair and is cycling really fast, then what would happen?
His hair would fly.
His hair would fly, isn't it? Because the wind is rather strong. Now let's add something at the back. Everyone will have to try and tell me what this is, okay?
Dog.
A dog.
And now to show that the wind is really strong, we shall add one more thing.
A balloon.
That's right.
Grass.
Our sketch is quite ready. Now let's start our painting. So we take some water and cleanly coat our cartridge sheet with it. We hold the sheet a little angular with a slant so that all the water drips onto the table. Persian blue. We are using watercolors to paint the background. Have you seen when a storm is approaching, the sky looks
Yes.
something like this, cloudy and black? We shall now leave our background to dry and we'll take our sketch and one acetate sheet. Now here we've got two things. One is our cyclist and the other is the ground with the grass. Now what we are going to do is divide these into two separate layers and use a special technique to make the grass. Let's take our colors. For this I'm using acrylic colors. We do not mix too much water in this. We take a washing brush and apply the paint like this. A little darker green. Isn't it looking so much like grass?
Yes.
We give the ground a bit of a texture. Now let's put this aside and take another acetate sheet on which we draw the boy. So as you can see, we drew the ground and the grass on one sheet and the cyclist on a different sheet. So now let's add some color, alright? Now let's try another technique. We use a comb. We paint the helmet as well. Does it look like the wind is blowing?
Yes.
So our painting is completely ready. Alright, now we put all the layers together to see what they look like. First the layer of clouds, and here we have our grass layer, and finally the third layer on which we have our
Boy on the cycle.
boy on the cycle. Okay?
Yes.
We shall give it a frame.
Wow.
And our wind painting is ready. We just saw a simple scene in which we showed the effect of the wind, which we had created with simple strokes. We used a toothbrush, a comb and a washing brush. Now I'll show you a bit of a variation. If you would like to draw a tornado, We take a bit of acrylic paint and draw the basic outline or the form of the tornado. You will notice that I am using an OHP sheet to paint on, which is basically a plastic sheet. We use an OHP sheet for layering so that we can create our images or characters on each sheet without damaging any of the other layers. Now with the toothbrush, we make some horizontal strokes like this. Because of these horizontal strokes, we get the effect of movement. It looks like it is in motion. The wind is blowing quite fast, but we aren't really getting a sense of depth. We add some darker tones to give us some depth. All you've got to do is just dab on the colors very lightly like this. And when the tornado is moving, then a whole lot of sand, grass, and whatever it comes into contact with starts flying around it. So we can show some clouds here at the bottom. For the cloud effect, I am rotating the brush very lightly like this in a circular fashion. If you like, you could play around with various backgrounds to make the scene more interesting and give it an effect like this. For example, I have made a complete scene out here. I'll show it to you in a minute. First of all, we add a background layer, which of course is our sky. On this sheet, I have painted a small tornado. Next comes the third layer, on which I have drawn some grass and trees. Now you may notice that the trees and the grass are quite still, but the other tornado has moved in closer. And the house that we have here is safe for the time being. But now comes the big tornado, which is moving really fast. So we add on yet another layer, in which we see a cow that looks rather concerned because the grass is flying around a lot. She's worried she's going to fly off as well. If you would like to make the story even more interesting, then you could show the cow and the house being sucked into the tornado. So let's try taking off the layer with the house. And in its place, I have painted another house, which is flying off into the sky. So in this way, you can play around with layers, and with just a few little strokes, you can create the effect of the wind to make your story more and more interesting. Okay, so our windy painting is complete. Now for the finishing touch, we shall frame it. I'm sure you've got a lot of ideas looking at this technique. A lot of stories must have come to your mind, so try it yourself and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The surface texture of rocks and their forms are what I find very inviting to make some art. Perhaps that is why, from ancient times, people have been using the surface of rocks to show their creativity. You might remember that I too had shown you how to make funky characters out of rocks. Today, with different rock shapes, we shall make some more characters and some rather interesting scenarios. So while I select my form, you guys take a look at the funky rock idol. Our stoneman, whose name is Mr. Rubble Rock, is a Red Indian chief. So we shall have to find a rather large face for him. Let's take this one. Okay, now since we have to make the face, the first thing we need is eyes, for which we are using beads. This looks nice?
Yeah. Yes.
Big red eyes. Now let's look for a mouth. This will look cool. Now we have got to find a nose. This looks like a nose, no?
Yes.
And for the ears, I've got this.
Yes.
To stick them on, I'm using white glue. And now we place the eyes on right here. Now let's fix the nose. Now what's left?
Mouth.
Mouth. We stick it on like this. We've got some artificial feathers here with us, which we shall stick on his head. We'll take a sellotape, fold it in half so that sticky side is on the outside, and stick it on his head like this. Now we stick our feathers onto the tape. After we have fixed the feathers, we take some green thread, place it on his forehead and wrap it around like this to make a nice headband. We stick it firmly at the back. Now we attach the ears. We take the beads and pass the colorful thread through it, and then tie a knot at both ends. We do the same thing for the second bead as well. We take a small piece of sticky tape, fix it to the ends and then stick it here. Our stoneman is ready?
Ready. Yes.
Now we shall draw some grass. I've taken some green paper. With the safety scissors, we cut out the shape. And similarly, I have cut out some more grass here in a different color also. Let's stick it on nicely here. Some glue. Do these look like tents?
Yes.
We'll decorate them a little more. We have made the head. Now when we finalize where to place it, we lift it slightly like this and mark it and then gently place it back. And here we have got our frame. And so our Chief Rubble Rock is ready to rock. You saw the rock idols. And I have managed to select few forms out here. So let's start. For the rock idols I just showed you, I had used only a single pebble. Here we shall combine 2 or 3 rocks to see what we can come up with. I've got with me here a large pebble. If I place a smaller one in front of it, like this, and some still smaller ones by its side, in this manner, then it looks like we've got a little turtle. If I place a small rock on top of a large one like this, then we can create a character in which this large rock can form the body and smaller one the head. So it can be a sumo wrestler. Let's start with the face first of all. You will notice that when I'm drawing on the rock, I'm placing it as I draw. Because if you lift it off and draw, then you will have to take care to stick it back in the very same position. So it is important that you check the position where your rock is actually resting. Only then you must decide what you want to draw on it. As you can see, I have drawn a basic outline on this rock where I'm going to draw in the hair. And if you like, you can stick some stuff on instead of using paint. Okay, so now we have colored the hair. Let's place it and see. And like I said, you can use other stuff as well. So now I'm going to use a black thread and make a tiny little bun out of it. Okay, we'll put a little glue at the end. Okay, so the head is ready. Now we shall draw in the features. Okay, so here I have wrapped the rock with a blue thread. I cut off the end of the thread. It's good if you use white glue to stick it, because white glue turns transparent when it is dry. Now we shall make an extension. We make a small loop. The belt is complete. Now we can make the rest of the body. Now all that is left is the face and its features and his hands and feet. So here we have drawn our sumo wrestler with hands, feet and all his features. So he is ready. Looks impressive? You can add some finer details too if you wish. Now we've added some sticks and our sumo wrestler is absolutely ready. So let's place him in a setting. Okay, so we have placed our sumo in a setting. And you can see he's not really in a mood to wrestle today, because today is his rest day. So we shall create a bit of a mood. Now it's time for a break, but don't go anywhere because after the break, we shall see a wild, moving big picture. Make way, it's big picture time. I've got with me here Nazar Muhammad, Chaman and his friends who are going to help me create this giant picture. Friends, let's get started. I don't know where he has gone. He keeps running away and hiding all the time. My big picture is incomplete. Where do I look for him now? What? Oh! So here he is all camouflaged. What do you think of my giant big picture? Impressive, huh? Alright, let's bring on Nazar Mohammed, Chaman and his friends. The ones who helped me make this. Please come. Here's where your elephant is hiding. What do you think?
Choka.
Choka. What does that mean?
Very good.
Very good and absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you.